What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Cards Podcast, the show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name's Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, Gavaroni Jones. Gavaroni, how are you doing?
You know, I miss the masks.
You do?
People look at me now. They used to look at me like, you know, that looks like a normal person, and then I took out the mask and they go, ah.
That's true. Yeah, there's times where I just don't want to show people my face. Like, I think about that often now when I go back to the store. I'm just like, I don't want to show you anything. You don't deserve anything.
Did it affect you? Have resting? Yeah, I'll help you move your couch face.
I apparently do. Yeah, I hate it.
Do you find people are you know, were less friendly when you were wearing the mask?
I don't know, because then it's all on your eyes, right? And that's the whole thing of, I think I would, because I'm dealing with people at my job, I would try and make my eyes friendlier because I didn't have my smile. But I'm always thinking that people are going to think that I'm like looking too aggressive at them. So I try and make sure, especially when it's like customer service, I'm trying to be like, what's a friendly looking face? And so when you don't have the mouth, I think my eyes are just like way too open. And I'm just like, hey, overcompensating. But so I'm sure I was doing a lot of that with the mask.
Kind eyes. How does one do?
That's the thing.
kind
I don't know.
eyes?
I just go more open, I guess, is more what a kind eye is, or winking at them. I was winking at everybody, left and right.
Yeah. What's the what's her name? Bluth from Arrested Development. Wink.
The mom, yeah, she'd always.
I can't remember how she.
It was
does
with her
it wrong.
prescription pills. She thought that it was. I think it was like to not take.
Yeah, it's not the drowsy symbol.
Yeah,
it's
it's something
the
else.
winking. Subtle.
Oh, to not take with alcohol. She thought it
Yeah.
was like a winky like suggestion, but yeah.
Oh man, but how you?
I've been good. I've been. It's been a week, yeah, without the mask, and I've been walking around, and it feels weird. I think again because I'm seeing faces, and I have to like remember how to react with other people's faces, like what face I should wear too.
Yeah,
Because I wasn't really keeping care of my beard during COVID, and I think when
I fucking disagree, sir.
I wasn't, at least when like personally I was thinking like I wasn't taking care of it. So I think the first day back to the shop, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I don't have the mask on. And it was just like, it felt really gnarly and gross. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm wrong with it. Or sometimes when the top hair goes lower into the mouth, sometimes I let it roll because nobody can see it. But then I'm at work.
Yeah.
And it's like just a mouth of hair, basically.
Such a weird feeling, but also at the same time kind of fun, but not really, but kind of.
Yeah.
You just leave it there for a couple of days.
Weirds are weird, but I know I can't shave it. It's like I always tell my family because they're like, "Oh, what if you go back to being clean shaven?" It's like, no, this creates a chin for me by shaving it. So
when
I
is
need
the
to
last time you've been clean shaven?
I mean, dude, it's been a long time, like 10 years, easily 10 years. Yeah.
I mean, maybe when we first met, and even then, like you get, I think you were saying it back then. You get 5 o'clock shadow by noon.
Yeah. I had a mustache in 6th grade.
It's
Like
that
a full blown,
actually true, or
yeah,
is
it's
this just a
100%
story you tell?
true. And it sounds,
Wow.
looking back, it's like, oh, that's a cool thing. You might look older, but as a kid, that's the last thing I want to do is stand out or just be the only kid with a fucking mustache in middle school. I hated it, but it's just that's me, man. I
I
don't
mean,
know
at
what it
least you're a dude. Otherwise, it would have been.
or I could start a trend or something, or do the Frida like one eyebrow thing and rock that.
Now, did the other kids have you like trying to buy alcohol for them in the third
No,
grade?
that's the thing. No one ever had me do that. I think I just felt weird about attempting to do that because I would imagine, like the president's there and there's, a full SWAT team outside because I'm
Right.
trying to attempt to buy Busch Light or whatever.
How much trouble do you even think you get for?
I don't know. I think it's more on the place selling you the alcohol. They want to avoid any drama, so they like would really check your ID and stuff, and it's really on them because once it's bought, then I guess. Well, although if you like drive your car drunk and like crash and die, if they can track the beer somehow to that place, they might be in a bunch of shit.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
I think it's a fine because I know back in Ellensburg there was this place called the Oak Rail, aptly nicknamed the Coke Rail. But they
Nice.
got like while I was there, I only lived in Ellensburg for like 2 years, and I think they got fined like 5 times.
Oh
And
wow.
there's a point where they're like, no, you just don't get to have a bar anymore.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of you having your license revoked if it's enough times because
Yeah.
you obviously don't take it seriously. But it's nuts. That's why I always buy a beer for kids, every chance I get. But how's your week been, Gavin?
Oh, been good. Yeah, it's been what 2 weeks. A lot of stuff happening. Just moving. And when I'm
You've been
not
moving for a while. Are you putting one item in a
am-
box at a time? And
I'm
then
bad
next
at
box?
moving, man. I'm bad at moving. But it's also like my car is shit for moving. I don't have much of a back seat. So we're getting there. I'm almost done. and then
Oh, you still need the muscle. You mentioned you need Big Papa
yeah,
Fonzie to help you.
probably Wednesday.
I'm down.
Um, but aside from that, just playing a bunch of Elden Ring, and then we got Tunic coming up here a sec. We'll talk about that. We both been playing
Yeah.
that.
Yep. Yep.
That's a ton of fun, and yeah,
Have you been getting any better at Elden Ring?
yes.
Ooh, you have.
Mhm.
Okay, interesting.
I'm definitely not I'm definitely not an expert because I'll visit our warehouse to do some IT work at the warehouse, and he's like, "Oh, you're using that one sword I told you about." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Don't you love the teleporting ability?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
And the sword?
Yeah. So I was like, so most items have an ability. Sometimes you can customize it. And so I got this special curved sword that's just big and does a lot of damage.
Hmm.
I need to find this place because I've talked to her before, but I haven't summoned her.
Oh, this like
Um,
fall area.
yeah.
Is there seasons? Do the areas change, or they look like they look?
They just look like they look.
Gotcha.
So I know where this area is. I don't know where the fuck this is.
All right.
Um,
Really got the gameplay trailer. It's from Bandai Namco, so I want to say it's early on, but you can go anywhere though. So not sure.
definitely don't know where the fuck that thing is. I'm glad though. This area has this is the area with like the 3-story high bears.
The bears, yeah,
Yeah, so I
yeah.
don't fuck with the bears.
But you find yourself like having more success at this?
Yeah, I also apparently he's one of my coworkers is saying like the starting area is not the first area I went to.
Is there a quote
Uh,
unquote starting like where the game would prefer you to start?
I mean, different areas have different difficulties, so it helps to go kind of
Oh,
in order,
gotcha.
so you're not getting murdered. I disagree. There's no way that's right. That being said, I went to the area that he says is supposed to be the starting area, and yeah, I'm just breezing through stuff.
Okay.
So I don't.
Is it because you already kind of leveled up somewhat before you
Yeah,
got
I'm
there?
definitely leveled up. I have decent equipment. Aside from my armor, that sucks. But I'm still really enjoying it. This game is the combat what Breath of the Wild is the puzzles, and I'm just
Oh,
give me more. I just want to explore and find new stuff to kill, and I don't care if I want something for killing something. I don't care if I actually need it, right? Like
I
if
see.
I can't use it, that's fine. I just killed the thing.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun. I still wonder if you would like it or not. I have the opportunity to get that cool dragon's head spell.
Damn.
But I'd have to I'd be like leveling forever just to be able to use it.
I am more and more interested. I was reading, this was last week, there was
Mhm.
an update that was kind of controversial. It sort of nerfed certain things.
Mhm.
And some people were saying it's basically not speedrunnable at this point after the speedrun. But did you notice a difference in this update?
Well, the way I heard it described is like you can you're just gonna have to change your speedrun tactic because they nerfed this weapon that was super overpowered, and but the other problem with it because it's so overpowered, it becomes a PvP problem.
Oh, okay.
So you just walk into someone's thing and kill them.
Gotcha. Now that's after the update or before?
Before the update.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because I did read there was some stuff that were going to affect, yeah, PvP.
Yeah. But it's still I think the fact that it is so open, there's just stupid amounts of content in this, and I just like finding these little dungeons.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. You just go have adventures because fuck it, that's fun.
I did see someone had speedrun the game, I think before the update, and they beat it in like 28, 30 minutes.
I have no clue how they do that.
I don't know either. I'm assuming that at least getting to the credits doesn't take that is longer than that, but somehow they cheesed it to where they were able to speedrun it, which is nuts. But I was watching. I'll get these clips every once in a while
Mhm.
of boss battles, and the bosses just look so really freaking cool
Yes.
that it's hard to forget about this game, even though I keep telling myself it's too hard. But there was this boss with a spider crab guy with like a skeleton face, but there was like a space background behind him. It just looked so
I haven't
awesome.
got to that one yet. That sounds fun.
But if somebody explained like from GameSpot how to beat it, I was like, okay, everything went way over my head, but it just looks so cool.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with all these games, the enemies just look so interesting and unique, where it's like I want to play this game.
Yeah, you might like it. I think you might. I got frustrated with the first dungeon, and I think you might too. But I guess the thing you just have to get used to is that it's fine if you die. If you lose all your souls, yeah, it kind of sucks the first time. But then, like, I would use if I have 0 souls, I'm just gonna go explore and die willy nilly because it doesn't matter
True.
anymore. So with that first castle just being gargantuan and so big and honestly kind of hard to explore, I got better at exploring it and kind of found my own little routes. And I probably left like at least 25% of that dungeon unexplored.
Okay.
But I found the Kool-Aid man, so That's all that matters.
Yeah, okay, he's in there and he kicks your ass, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now playing this
Mhm.
compared to Tunic, what do you think? Are they apples and oranges? But are you having fun playing Tunic? And do you have any thoughts back to Elden Ring?
I think the biggest thing is it's really hard to switch back and forth, and I try and play a little bit of each night, but like the control schemes are almost backwards. So like I've been playing Tunic, and then I go back to Dark Soul, or not Dark Souls, but um
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, and I go to dodge roll and I use a potion.
Oh yeah, because I know with Tunic you can map whatever you want
Right.
to be on the actual button, so you can move the
Mhm.
sword and potions around. But you're saying it's always the case where if you're trying to play multiple games, at least for me at once,
Yeah.
there's that disconnect, and I find it's not worth it. Where I just kind of stick with one and then move over.
Right. And I think the fact that they're both Souls like, well, this I don't know. I mean, this is my Elden Ring is my first Soulsborne style game, and
Yeah,
this does feel so different. Yeah, it's got a stamina meter. Yeah, the enemies have slightly tricky patterns.
I feel like it's a Fisher Price, I guess, version of Elden Ring. But for
Sure.
me, being the kid, I
Yeah.
think this is still tough. Like I'm playing it, and but it's the I imagine the way people that play Elden Ring they feel this way, where it's
Mhm.
hard enough, but makes you intrigued to keep trying to, and then you
Right.
keep getting chipping away at and getting further and further and unlocking more stuff. I
Mhm.
get that success here with Tunic. I haven't with those Souls games,
Right.
but playing this also makes me think like maybe I would like some of these Souls games, or especially Elden Ring. But I'm having a lot of fun playing
Mhm.
Tunic.
Have you unlocked any new? I haven't gotten any. I got the sword. I haven't gotten much further than that. Do you have any? Oh, well, I got the lamp. That's my newest thing. Do you
Yeah,
have?
I have the lamp, and
Okay.
I keep finding these various items that I don't know what they are until I use them. And so I found like there's an ice
Okay.
bomb that I didn't know that it was an ice bomb until I like froze myself. But I got a little achievement for doing that,
Nice.
which you can throw at enemies. I found there's the dynamite, which is early on,
Mhm.
stuff like that. I keep finding items that I think are more long term, like they build up. And
Mhm.
so that's one thing that's really cool about Tunic is you find these pages that are very much like from an NES like booklet of a game. It's like
Right.
that's where you'd go to look up for more information. You
Mhm.
unlock these pages, and in those pages, you'll see like this little item equates to whatever, like 2 times your health or whatever if you stack
Mhm.
them up. So there's
Right.
stuff like that where I'm starting to learn more as I collect them. But I just like the fact that you don't know what the hell's going on.
Whoa! What the fuck?
I never. This is early on. I haven't seen this.
I
They're
think
like,
that's near where I'm at too, but I definitely haven't gone that
you know
direction.
what? I didn't backtrack much once I got the sword, and so I think that's how they're finding him. Because once you have that sword, you can cut the brush, and I didn't do that at the very beginning. I didn't go back down, so I think that's how they found them. But there are these monks that are shooting at you that I didn't see in the first time I played through.
Jesus Christ.
But I love it's like very much a callback to Zelda,
Mhm.
and from like every aspect of it. But it makes you feel like I'm playing Zelda for the first time.
Mhm. I agree.
Just like exploring and not knowing what the hell like you're finding, and then kind of figuring out along the way.
I would be very curious to see what kids would think of this. I still think kids could play this. It's still pretty approachable. Even though it is hard, you do have to be patient. I still haven't figured out these fucking circle sword guys attack
Yeah, with the
pattern.
sword, it's kind of easier to block and then jump
Mhm.
in. We have Dot Zyke in the chat asking if we missed the Hogwarts Legacy talk. It's on the docket. We're getting there towards the gaming news, but we'll talk about some Hogwarts Legacy.
Mm. I
But
know nothing of Hogwarts Legacy.
yeah, so there's a state of play where they dropped like a half-hour gameplay footage of it.
And
Uh,
Sony didn't buy WB.
they did
That's right.
not. That was
Okay.
the sort of rumor that fell apart right before
Rumor.
people realized it wasn't the actual blog post wasn't saying what we thought it was.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's a little bit later on. But Tunic, man, I'm digging it. I'm at the point right now where I think I found, I guess, the first boss in the game. It's a boss
Oh.
that like everything locks behind you and you have to fight this guy.
Mhm.
And he's pretty tough. He's pretty tough, but just like, and that's what I loved about Celeste. And I imagine it's the same with these Souls games where he would instantly kill me. I kept trying, and then I could see myself getting a quarter of his health. Okay, then on the
Mhm.
next couple playthroughs, half of his health. Then the last quarter of his health. And I'm like, okay, I still haven't beat him, but
Mhm.
I can see the path.
That's
And
awesome.
I love that feeling when you actually nail it with a game. And I know that's what people love about the Souls games. So it's
Mhm.
like I got to give those games another chance.
Did you? So one thing I will say I didn't like about the reviews specifically for this game is everyone gave away. A lot of reviewers were saying, "Hey, I got to the first boss," and I was just getting decimated. And then after I beat him, I found out how to level up because I wasn't reading the instructions closely enough.
I'm sure that's what's happening to me too.
So then I was every time I got because of that note, I was reading the instructions every single time I got a new one, looking for how to level up.
Yeah.
And now I'm pretty fucking powerful, and I still haven't found the first boss yet.
Oh, really? I need to learn how to level up because you do get the actual booklet of information every time as you're
I
walking
assume
around.
this is the first boss.
This is not. So there's another one that's
Oh.
like even beefier than this guy.
I've not fought this guy.
But it's like that, like on steroids. But you find these booklets that reveal stuff. But I love and I hate this because in the text on the pamphlet, it's all like weird hieroglyph characters.
Right.
And then there's every once in a while there's one that's actually like in English or whatever. So you kind of have to piece it together, which is still fun.
Yeah.
But they overall tell you what's going on. Also, the art in those booklets is great. I love how they look, and it just reminds you of like an old NES booklet, like the first Zelda one.
Takes you right back to the childhood. Yeah,
right.
It's so cool. I am loving it. I'm glad they stuck it out because this game has been in development for I believe it is 8 years.
I recently saw a tweet when because they stealth dropped this where it came out then and there on Game Pass. It was IED or ID at Xbox where they had like an indie showcase and they just dropped it, fully released it. But somebody had tweeted like, I'm gonna be bummed not being able to play this at every PAX as I've been able to do for like the past such and such years. Because you're right, yeah, they've been working on it for so long.
Yeah,
but it's dope. I'm not sure I forget the name of the dev, but they're definitely on my radar after this because this is awesome.
Well, you're gonna have to leave on that radar for another 8 years.
Yeah, maybe they could staff up after this. I imagine they could, and maybe somebody acquires them. I don't know, but I'm sure they can. Hopefully work on something a little bit faster, but maybe not. And take your time because these games are awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's really all that I've been playing this week. Last time we met, I finished Horizon Forbidden West, and beyond that, I did watch that No Clip doc about Black Mesa. So I was trying to play more Black Mesa over the week, but my PC was being really dumb where I couldn't stream my gameplay to my TV. It was a whole thing.
Huh.
Yeah, and like I didn't want to take my PC over there, so it was a shit show. But it makes you think. I want that Steam Deck so I can play on my couch, play on the TV. Bam.
Well, have you been watching anything though?
I did watch this terrible movie.
Oh, shit.
But it was the newer Resident Evil movie that came out a couple months ago. So it's called Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
I think you told me this was the thing, and I promptly forgot.
I know you, yeah, and I don't.
Yeah, this looks familiar.
Yeah, I can understand why you would forget because it's just the way it was marketed to, but it had potential. I think people ended up digging this. It made a good amount of money apparently at the box office, and you could say it's like the most true Resident Evil game or movie to game to movie that we've seen before, because like the original movies didn't do that with
I feel like the original one did.
The first one did, but even then they still played on aspects of they're in a mansion for 5 seconds and then they're in that like underground layer.
Right.
This one is like very much beat for beat. They're following the first and second game. And they have actual characters there from the movies. It's cool, and like that's its strongest point, but otherwise the movie is just like not fun to watch.
Can we just skip to Resident Evil 7 for the movies?
You'd think, yeah, or like trying to portray Resident Evil 4 in a movie, but I don't know, they're trying to do too much by putting two games into one. Maybe if they had the time, if they focused on the first game, they would have just been able to flesh things out more, but it's just very cheesy. Like the performances are super cheesy. The logic that's going on is just, it's tough, man. But they made it, and I don't know where it's going to go, if they made enough to make a sequel or what have you, but it's just pretty bad.
There you go. But you gave it a shot.
I did.
I had to give it a shot.
I thought in the beginning of the movie, like the first 10 minutes, it's happening in the 90s. So somebody walks by a TV that's playing Golden Girls. And I thought that was the best part of the movie, that they played Golden Girls for 5 seconds.
It was something completely different.
That was the redeeming quality of the movie.
Itchy fists? Is that what that blood said?
Itchy something.
Itchy
scratchy or itchy hungry. Oh. Yeah, people are slowly losing their mind, turning to zombies in this world. Like Umbrella's poisoning the water, so they're kind of like slowly turning, and then they turn.
Gotcha.
But the CGI, especially for this monster at the end, is very bad.
That is some Bloodshot level CGI, right? No, yeah. Bloodshot, it's still better than Bloodshot.
That's the thing. It's like, it's such a huge property. Give them as much money as they need, because, or maybe they don't, because those original line of movies with Mila Jovovich, I don't think they put a lot of money into those, but they made a ton. So maybe they're trying to follow that same mantra of like, put bare minimum and nerds going to go see it. But it's just, it could have been so much better. because they're trying to actually follow the games this time, and it still sucked. So I don't know what you do. But yeah, watch that. What about you?
Watch a bunch of stuff. The only thing really of note that I need you to get you on the train for is Project Adam on Netflix
Project at with
with Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, who's always Ryan Reynolds. Was he Ryan Reynolds in this movie too?
He was extra Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And he has a little Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
Who's trying to keep up with him and doing a decent job.
It's Project Adam. Right?
Project Adam.
I watched the trailer and there was some promise in it.
Yeah, I think is really good. It's sort of like a Back to the Future-esque plot, but they're not too worried about the timeline. They're saying like, hey, if we do the thing, it'll fix itself.
Sure.
So we just gotta complete the mission. But the story was really good, and these characters are really well acted. So I super duper liked it.
Yeah.
So highly recommend if you wanna feel good action romp.
And that's the vibe I got from the trailer. So I wouldn't be mad at all at them providing just that. I thought it was, I do like Ryan Reynolds. As much as I give him shit for being the same guy, he nails that person because he's always that person. So I'm always down to watch him.
One thing in my mind, though, due to the way, like, I think the lighting and the way it's polished, I kept thinking it was a Disney movie. And then he keeps saying fuck.
Oh, really?
Like, he swears a decent amount. It's not, like, in your face, but occasionally I'm just like, oh, they said fuck in a Disney.
I wonder if it's R or PG, because I think with PG-13, you get one fuck.
And
it's like how you say it.
But even though the violence isn't bad.
I see. It might just be the PG-13 then. When we watched the Batman in theaters, which I watched again over the weekend, they do say fuck in the movie. And I remember seeing that. It's like they got that one, and they can say it only once when it's PG-13.
Who says fuck?
It's not Commissioner Gordon. It's like the guy above him.
X.
Professor Gordon.
That's
the guy above him. He says happy fucking Halloween to Batman.
Yeah. That's a good use. Use.
Right.
That was a good movie. That was a lot of fun.
I watched it again, man. I love it. I could watch it weekly.
It's tough though. I had someone asking. I was like, "Do I recommend?" Like his students hated it, and I'm like, "I don't think this one's for everyone." It's one of my favorites.
Like what age?
He's I think he teaches high schoolers.
Okay.
But it's like
they hated it.
They hated it.
What did they hate about it?
I don't know. Maybe the soft. It does have a fucking soft focus on every single shot. The edges are blurry.
I'm sure his high school students weren't that critical.
But like the action scenes were good.
Yeah, they're dope.
So I don't know.
That Batmobile, I love that Batmobile.
That's a good Batmobile.
Damn. You got Zoe Kravitz in it. I don't know what else you want. You got Zoe Kravitz in it. What the hell else? What can we do? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen some. I think overall people dug it, but I've seen some wishy-washy or hate online. But what can you do? It's made a ton of money. It's already at like 500 million. It's incredible how well it's doing.
500 million.
Yeah. And it's a 3-hour movie in the pandemic. So it's like.
It goes quick, though.
I feel that way, like especially the third time. I feel like it goes faster. Even though I know what's coming, I just like to see what's happening because I love the visuals.
Queen Bunny in the chat.
Suede Sparrow was mentioning about Resident Evil. That nothing compares to the original ones, especially with Mila Jovovich. Like she's probably my first crush, where I became a sentient, boy. Where I was like, oh god, that's
I
a
didn't
woman.
realize the reason she's in like a bunch of these movies is because her husband's the director.
He is, yeah. Anderson something, I think is his name.
Yeah,
but yeah. Well, I don't know if they met afterwards or whatever, but yes.
I don't think they did.
Okay, well. Either way, she kills it, but yeah, she might have had it was first audition or something. If that works.
Dibs,
right? But again, we'll jump into the some news because
we got a Wario 64 up there. I'll be excited for that. Always coming in with the hotness. Oh, we got 2 Wario 64s.
Yes, we do have some 2 Warios. Man,
some hot goss.
Let's talk about Ghostwire Tokyo. So that's dropping this week, and the reviews came out. So right now it's sitting at a 78 Metascore, Metacritic. It's kind of all over the place. IGN gave it a 7. Video Game 24/7 gave it a 4 out of 5. Game Informer an 8. But I'm super stoked for this. So I already just pre-ordered the game over the weekend. But I'm going to switch to.
That looks like Babish.
It could be. It could be Babish. But this one we lightly talked about it last time. Do you have much interest in it? Because it's going to be on PC.
I don't know. Like there was a review I watched this morning for it. They were pretty critical. He described it as basically like a walking simulator where occasionally you get in a fight and that feels weird. I guess movement fairly sluggish. But I don't, you just never know. I don't necessarily agree with that critic 100% of the time. but
Gotcha.
he's probably the closest to my taste.
I mean, they show a lot of the action points, but maybe it takes too long to get there. I did see IGN kind of saying the combat can be repetitive, but then the
Yeah.
strong side of the game is the environments and the characters and how just unique everything looks and how you want to stay in this world.
Mhm.
But yeah, like you have this bow and arrow, you're doing your like cool magic stuff with your hands.
Fighting your Slendermans.
Right, found the Slendermans. It seems like there's enough there. Either way, I'm on board. I mean, I pre-ordered this. I'm super stoked to play it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
but I'm excited. But it's got kind of okay reviews. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it may just be a person to person thing, and hopefully
That's always the risk
Yeah.
with getting the reviews early. But we'll see. Either way, I'm on board.
Hmm.
But that's coming out this week.
Nice.
We were talking about Resident Evil, so we got some more news on Resident Evil, which is this. So we got Resident Evil live action Netflix series. This was already announced, and we kind of
Ooh.
talked about it, but just like the last movie we talked about, we forgot about it.
Yep.
So it's coming out July 14th, but it's a live action Netflix TV show that is taking place in that Resident Evil franchise, in that universe, but it's happening 30 years after the original storyline or original game.
Who's this? They said Wesker is going to be.
Yeah, so it's this guy here, Lance Reddick, is going to be Wesker.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy can just take any old role.
Oh, he's dope. Yeah, and they have the full cast here. I don't know exactly who's playing who, but this was from a while ago, so we've had more cast reveal stuff since. But that was June. These are original posts, but it's coming out in July.
I don't recognize a goddamn one of them aside from.
Yeah, I think they're kind of, I wouldn't say newer, but like younger actors that are on the scene. But you got Lance Reddick there too.
Well, hopefully they kind of prove themselves here.
I'm hoping if Netflix is behind the chair, they can make better decisions so it doesn't shit the bed, in my opinion, like the movie we just watched,
Sure.
Balkan Raccoon City.
Uh,
But it is such a cool world. It's like you could tackle all these different points in the series. Like you can follow the family, like I forget their name, but from 7. You can go with Leon in 4. It's like you can do so much with it. So I think there's a room. I don't know if this really ties back to that movie. I don't think it does. I think this is his own thing. But yeah, that is happening.
Yeah. So God bless him. He can do his own thing. He's super famous, but like he honest to God, can't really pull off Converse.
Think so?
That looks very odd on him.
A little bit like after school teacher, like cool teacher. You know, he's gonna put the chair backwards and talk to you.
Yes, exactly.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, he's gonna be Wesker in that. It's coming out soon. Gavin, I don't know if you heard about some of the Perfect Dark reboot studio issues.
Just heard about it today.
Okay, so let's move on to that.
The world's first quadruple A.
Yeah, so the actual article here is from IGN. As I pull up my B-roll. So IGN has it. A new report suggests that Microsoft's The Initiative, the studio developing a reboot of Perfect Dark, has suffered significant staff departures over the past 12 months. Staff are reportedly leaving the company due to a lack of creative autonomy and slow development progress. The report notes that around 34 people have quit within the last year, including much of the senior design team. Reasons given for the staff departures predominantly include a feeling that the studio was not a collaborative place to work. Staff apparently felt unheard by their seniors on issues such as development priorities, project planning, and team staffing. The alleged result of this was a project that developed painfully slow and a lack of company culture. So not a great update because this game is still on the horizon.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard a lot about it since. Like this was one that every time we tackled what we were going to see at the Game Awards, it was on our list because they showed this off. I guess it was in 2020, so it wasn't that long ago. But like we didn't get anything last year, the year after that, or I guess we're on the cusp of this next year, but not a lot of updates from this. And it's apparently in a little trouble. I don't know if they've kind of figured it out since then, but yeah.
I mean, if it just made the news, I don't know. It's hard to say. That being said, I go there. I think this goes to show you. So this was supposed to be, the most expensive studio out there.
This is the one you always mention because they call it the quadruple A studio.
Yeah, that's super annoying.
Yes.
But this goes to show you, like, even if you hire the best talent in the world, software and games, they're hard to fucking direct and manage. Like this stuff is tough. It's its own beast, and man, it's hard to do. So
especially the scale, I imagine they're trying to pull off, a huge scale.
Yeah.
With the staffing and this project in general. Yeah. And you're a new studio too, where it's like you haven't figured out the grooves to follow with pumping this stuff out.
Right.
So it's not good, but hopefully they can turn it around. They might need to take some more time, maybe 2 more years from now.
Oh, for sure. At
Um,
least.
yeah, but it's rough. Maybe they would have been better suited not bringing back this title back to life, because I don't imagine there's a huge demand for it. It's really just to have that end screen be perfect dark. Like that's what's cool about this reveal trailer. But otherwise, they could have made their own thing, and I think people would have been excited.
Right.
But yeah, some troubles there.
We'll cancel this. We'll bring back Killer Instinct.
Yeah, there you go. And that's another one that was still rare, was it not?
Yes.
And has there been any interest? Because they're just now full force into the pirate game, which I think is successful for sure. It's been like 5 years now.
So Rare didn't actually make the reboot. It was made by. So it was made by two companies, because originally it was one, and I can't remember if the first one was Iron Galaxies or if Iron Galaxies
Gotcha.
is the one that got handed off to.
The Galaxies one sounds familiar. I can look it up right
I
now.
think they might have been the second developer.
No, this is just Killer Instinct in general. What was the year? 2013? Damn, that long ago.
Jesus.
So we have a publisher, so developer Double Helix, and then Iron
Right.
Galaxy.
Right, and then they handed them off, and it was actually a tremendously smooth handoff. But I remember watching a behind the scenes doc on that. They were saying like they were so proud of the product they made. People were loving this game. They were just jacked, and they're like, by the way, we're getting sold. What?
Yeah, damn. That sucks. Well, yeah, and I'd love to see a new Killer Instinct soon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's too bad. You hope, and it sounds like the people were promised that they were going to have more autonomy, and
right.
they were going to get their stuff, and now it's just like nope,
Not after all.
So we got another, probably not as bad as the Ken Levine situation, but
yeah, I think with them they were making stuff and just throwing it away because he wasn't what he wanted to do.
yeah, this isn't polished.
Yeah.
I can talk.
I'm worse than you, so I don't know what we're doing here, Gavin.
We have no business.
No. So we got some news on CD Projekt Red's new game, and it's a Witcher game.
Mhm.
So they announced this today on a Monday morning for some reason. I think you'd wait this. I think a game like this you'd wait to have it at the Game Awards or something. But we got here from IGN. CD Projekt Red confirms a new Witcher game is in development. So now here's what's interesting. They're using Unreal Engine 5. So they have their proprietary
interesting.
Red engine. They're not using it for this game. It's going to be Unreal Engine 5. They are going to use Project or Red Engine for the DLC for Cyberpunk, which they're still working on.
Oh, you can't switch engines mid-game.
Yeah, true. Makes total sense. You know what? Let's make this even harder by switching. Well, right when we have the game finally at a playable state. But this next one is, and it's already under development. I think they're definitely going to take a lot of time with this game.
Sure.
With the woes they went through with Cyberpunk, this one is their bread and butter. It's like you can't screw this up as well. Like they have to take as much time as needed. And I imagine their investors, anyone hired up would understand. It's like we can't have the same situation. This is the one thing that people want from us, so they can't mess it up.
Right. And my hope would be now, Epic, the Unreal Engine is not the end all be all. It is a fantastic engine, but it's not just going to fix things just by existing and being a different engine. That being said, I'm really hoping we have a similar effect that we did with like Outer Wild, like from Fallout to Outer Wilds, where it's like, oh, what if we had basically a Fallout game, but it's not constantly buggy and glitchy?
Yeah.
What would that be like?
Right. No, that's very true. And there was actually an interesting tweet from one of the main people at Digital Foundry. They were bummed to see the announcement of them switching to Unreal Engine 5 because they spent so much time with that engine, with the Red Engine, just this in-house engine that they've, calibrated. And of course they had issues with Cyberpunk, but it's like you kind of can't beat having your own in-house engine. And so moving to something that is everyone else can use, which is cool and it's dope, and we've seen how awesome the advancements look like, but he just missed seems like the idea of all these different engines existing is kind of going away. It's like everyone's kind of funneled into the same ones, and so you don't see maybe the different advancements from engine to engine you would if everyone was using their own.
I think part of it is just I've forgotten my point.
With like development stuff.
I mean, really, it's like a lot of times if you want to do something you need your own engine for, usually it's because you're doing something special.
Yeah.
And you really need to optimize that particular part of the engine, whereas like a generic off-the-shelf engine isn't going to do that. You probably shouldn't make an RTS with an Unreal. You can, You probably shouldn't.
I see.
And with this, like, it'd be kind of cool if they could get on board with like the Horizon guys and use the Horizon engine.
Oh, for sure.
But
I see what you mean. Because especially like an open world third person, Unreal can handle that just fine. So it's like they don't need this proprietary thing, which also has its own issues, unless they're pushing the envelope of what can be done.
Right. But Unreal is so powerful nowadays. It'll knock this out no problem.
Yeah. And I'm excited. I never really got into these games, but I still want to see them succeed. Right. I want to see what a new Witcher game would look like. They were pretty clear online. This isn't The Witcher 4. It's a Witcher game. So who knows what characters they follow with, what time frame it happens in. But they made it clear it's like this isn't the next Witcher. It is a Witcher game.
Do we get to control Ciri then?
I don't know. Possibly. I know people like that character a lot.
I mean, I don't know in the game. She's cool in the show.
Yeah,
I don't know about the game. I assume she's cool in the game.
I think you do control her in the Witcher 3. I think there's like flashbacks.
Huh.
But I could be wrong. But I know I played the very little I played of it. I feel like I remember that.
It's Johnny. Fucking Johnny. That looks like a Johnny if I ever saw one right there. Oh boy.
This kid needs some milk or something.
He needs some milk.
Now, Gavin got this. I thought that was just cool announcement trailer. It's a game called The Quarry. It's from Supermassive Games, who make Until Dawn. So it's their next game that looks very much like Until Dawn. I wanted to get your take on it.
I forgot about this.
Like that my quality keeps going down to like 480p, even though I have good internet. But it's got a star-studded cast, and it's going back to this, campy kind of a teen horror vibe.
Yeah. Wow, I haven't seen this guy in anything in a while.
Yeah, it's David Arquette.
Spend one more night here. No! Just stop. Let me think. Okay.
Is that what his voice sounds like?
Yeah. Sounds like him. He's in they did the, not a reboot, but like another Scream movie. He's in that again too. He's looking old, but it looks like. Yeah, their facial capture stuff is very, very good.
And we end up in a most dangerous game situation.
Like when people hunt other people?
Yeah, think about it. It's camp is over and hunting season has just begun.
I did see a weird light.
Yeah, the camp. I'm not sure if there's supernatural. I imagine something supernatural. There's a killer for sure.
Hopefully so.
Right, or a mixture of the two.
Now you said star-studded cast. Is there anyone else in here?
Well, there's a guy from My Name Is Earl. They showed him for a brief second. He's in it at the very end. They kind of show more. Sam Raimi's brother, who's in a bunch of stuff, is in it. Then you have David Arquette, and I think some of these younger teens or like younger kids are well-known people. On TikTok or something. I don't know. But I imagine, let's see, there's that Sam Raimi brother. Following the same vein of Until Dawn, you make the choices and there's effects of those choices. I really like that idea, and that's why I always gravitated towards games like Detroit Become Human, because I like that idea of the choice. But for some reason, the last game, they put out a couple since then, but Until Dawn, I didn't like. I thought it was too cheesy, where I just couldn't get into it. It was just like ridiculous to me. But as years go by, it's like I want to give it another chance because people really dig that game. And
Justice
I love making
Smith,
choices.
was that? Oh, was that one of the? Oh, there was that one kid from Righteous Gemstones.
See?
Okay.
There's a lot of people.
Oh, it's the
Stupely guy.
Yeah, that's super swole now.
Yeah, now he's jacked.
No! Just stop.
But they announced that, and it's coming this summertime.
Good. Exciting. I kind of wish I'd played the original. I watched a lot of streamers playing it. It was neat because there were so many ways you could go.
Right.
That, man, every playthrough is different.
See, that's what I want to. Yeah, I want to give it a shot because people dig it.
Damn. All right. Star-studded cast. I guess they got their money back.
Right. Again, we got some Hogwarts news. So they had WB had a big state of play stream. So Sony they're promoting the game with them with some kind of deal where they're it's not exclusive to Sony, but they have this marketing campaign with Sony and WB Games showing off the game. So they're showing off Hogwarts Legacy. They spend a good half hour showing off the game, a lot of the mechanics.
Are you playing as Harry?
You're not. So this takes place, it's like in the late 1800s in this time frame. So there's still magic, obviously, but it's kind of really separate from the main storyline. But you have these trolls that are... I don't think the trolls are the only bad guy. There's other elements you have to figure out. But you have your own house that you can choose, and your story kind of takes its own route because of that. I got the vibe early on that it was multiplayer. It is not. So you're just a single player experience.
Well, that can still be cool with just AIs fighting alongside you. That'll be fun.
They could. I wonder if they could do the Demon Souls or Elden Ring route where people can jump into your game and maybe help or not help. That could be cool.
That'd be fun.
But like the idea of having 4 buddies with you, having your own different houses, and almost like recreating the movies basically with each other, that'd be really cool. But it
We
seems
get
like it's
5 points for Gryffindor every time I don't know, do a prank on Slytherin, yet they keep giving us points because this game is fucking rigged.
It is, yeah. That's like, especially I think we watched the first one recently because Megan watches these all the time, and I think it's Griffin. No, it's a beautiful game too. That's one aspect of it.
Yeah.
What's the main house? It's not Gryffindor. No, it's Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Just so they win, basically, at the very end of the movie, they just keep giving them points so that they win.
Don't they do that in every fucking movie?
I think eventually other houses win, but especially that first one, you can tell Dumbledore, he likes Harry, so he just wants to help them win in any way.
Except for when Harry puts that piece of paper in the goblet of fire, then he about fucking murders him on the goddamn spot.
Oh, because he doesn't want him in the whole that game.
Even though wasn't that the twist? Like, no, it probably wasn't the twist. This oddly enough, I think it gives me Fable vibes, but I feel like that's more to do with just like they have similar aesthetics.
I had that same thought. I'm going to tell my kids this is Fable. But it very much nails that kind of just the magic elements, and with the like the Gothic architecture, it just very much reminds you of Fable.
I love, the architecture. Now is the time to make this game with these nutso graphics.
Right. Because we had plenty of Harry Potter games that just always looked like dog shit, and they're always geared towards a younger crowd. This one still is more approachable for everybody, but they're taking advantage of newer tech and just like updated, RPG mechanics too.
Oh, he just pulled the sword out of the statue's hand?
And
stab a motherfucker with it?
I want to beat a motherfucker with a motherfucker.
That's cool. That's if we can just gravity gun our way through this game, that seems fun.
Yeah, like your wand has no limits where you can pull people towards you. You can cast magic with it. All the elemental stuff, or like whipping that character around on the ground. Yeah, a lot of potential. And that's one thing I watched the stream when it was happening, and I just forget how deep this world is, where they could really do whatever they want. And we just have the movies and the books, but as far as they can pull from whatever they want and visualize stuff that we haven't seen on screen. That was one complaint Megan always had with the movies, and she loves them, but there's so much in the books that they end up leaving out, even though there's so many movies now. And so something like this can bridge that gap.
I'll be really curious. This has potential.
It does. It could be like very samey, like when it comes out, it could be that the actual mechanics just aren't that deep. That's possible, but I feel like there's a lot of potential here.
Just let me beat a motherfucker with a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I think they're hoping to achieve that. So it's coming out holiday 2022. Yeah, and so it's coming out PS4, PS5, every Xbox console. And it's also coming to Switch, but it's going to be streamable on Switch.
I'm calling it now. This is not coming out holiday 2022.
I think so, because they pushed it. I think it was expected earlier.
Push it again, motherfuckers. This is not ready to come out the oven.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that we get another announcement, but also could see them maybe making it work. But it also might have some issues when it launches too.
Yeah. Ooh, you can crush the ingredients.
You can, finally, for the first time, Harry Potter fans want to be able to crush ingredients on their own.
Leviosa! Press X to really enunciate the...
Yeah.
Sa. Oh, your fucking pot disappeared, bro. Oh, did it again.
You went to Harry Potter World. Did you have fun?
I did. I loved it. But it was great.
And and you're not like a huge diehard Harry Potter fan. But you enjoy it.
I'm not a fan. I've seen literally every movie, and they're good. I think it's good for what they've done. I legit don't know why I'm not super into them.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat where Megan's huge into it. She's read the books, watches all the movies. I like it, but I just don't care that much about it at the end of the day.
Right.
But how do you feel seeing this footage? Do you think it's still something that you'd want to play, even though you don't know much about the world?
I hope so. I mean, oh, that's cute. This looks like it could be
That's
fun.
another thing. You can traverse everywhere. So you can ride these, whatever their brooms are called. There's also a big mythical, bird thing you can fly. So they're letting you just go wherever you want.
Is it a griffin? Is it a paragriff?
I think it could be.
Is it a pendragon?
I don't know. It's some kind of animal like that.
Is it the goblet of fire?
Yeah, you can ride the goblet of fire. I want to ride a vacuum around this world.
I like the effects. Like, it's...
Yeah.
It's nice that we can just do particles all over the place now and not worry about it.
Yeah, and they look all drippy and goopy. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming out holiday. It's been a good amount of time showing that off,
All right.
which is dope. And move on to the next one here. Oh, you know what? Let's give a brief update on Silent Hill. So we had sort of an update.
What? Where is this coming from?
Yeah, so I'll take you down the loop. So Konami has updated Silent Hill trademark in Japan. So that was somewhat big. People are like, oh, okay, they're maybe doing something there, but oftentimes they're just holding on to a legal property. So they renew that trademark. But what also happened 2 weeks ago was the website for SilentHill.com expired, and Konami forgot to renew it.
Oh no!
Yeah, so someone else bought it.
Yep, as you do.
As you do, because people out there actually care. And Konami does not. But they have this. This is the actual website. So instead of anything, they just posted this tweet, which is from one of the creators of the actual Pyramid Head. And he says, I wish it had designed fucking Pyramid Head. But now this is the actual website. When you go to silenthill.com, it's that. But yeah. And then they teased this thing here last week. So official Konami shop says, are you ready for number 2? And you look down closer, it's for this limited edition skateboard they're coming out with.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, I'm always ready to take a number 2. I'm just prepared.
That's your secret. Tell me is that you're always taking a number 2. But they're almost trolling where it's like, are you ready for 2? For Silent Hill 2? It's like, something in that vein. Right. Nope, you get a skateboard.
But also remember, like, fuck Konami. That's the thing.
Yeah, I hear you. They just don't care. But I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see. I have Saj Mar Badula, if I'm saying that correctly, in the chat saying, when will this game be released? As far as Hogwarts, holiday 2022. So coming out soon. Or Silent Hill is already out. That's what we're talking about. So now moving on, we got Hogwarts Legacy. You talking about that? Starfield. Got an update on Starfield.
I saw that. So they're going back to the. It's interesting. They said they're going back to a lot of Oblivion mechanics.
Yeah. So there's a couple of them that they touch on. So I have the B-roll here. The actual YouTube vid is into
have
the
that
Starfield.
Sweet Oblivion lockpicking, since that's like the most accurate lockpicking in games.
You always mention that, although you're in the future, so I wonder how they're going to tackle lockpicking, but it's going to be there, right? Because it has to be.
Yeah.
But here's a breakdown. This is from VG247.
Be hacking.
Yeah, pretty much. So new Starfield developer diary covers companions, factions, dialogue system, and more. Bethesda Game Studios has released a new developer diary for Starfield. The team talks about how companions have been improved. You'll be joined by a companion robot named Vasco, which will make the off-the-cuff comments about something you're looking at or something that just happened. The player dialogue system will be pulled from Oblivion, as Todd Howard notes. This particular dialogue system is definitely one of the most successful ones the studio has had in-game. New technology for character models as well as character creation touched upon in the video, as you'll be able to choose your character traits and background. The team also discussed the various factions in the game and how you can join whichever one you fancy. You can even join multiple factions, and this includes the bad guys. So there's a couple of them. There's the United Colonies, Freestar Collective, Raijun Industries, and Crimson Fleet, which are these like space pirates.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a space pirate.
But they're really I like these little dev updates. I get the vibe they really, really care about this game. Who knows when it comes out, but I get more and more hyped for this game coming out. And they touch upon this the actual dev diary is called Made for Wanderers. They mention the idea of just like role playing within the game, just like as you play the game on your own, kind of creating the character that you want and just kind of, voicing it on your own too. Is like they want to tap into that and letting people create who they want to be, and kind of make their own story as they're playing the game. That's great. Like on paper, like I love hearing that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm just hoping that they get close to that, but I think they're in the same boat or a similar situation as CDPR, where they have to make sure this thing that people, it's a new property, but they have to make sure that they follow suit with why people love Bethesda and Bethesda games.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of pressure on them, but they understand it.
I hope so. I mean, it'll be interesting. The role-playing thing aspect of it excites me. I liked in Outer Wilds that I was role-playing as an absolute dumbass and took every opportunity.
Yeah. But they let you in the dialogue to kind of craft that.
That was the best part of that game.
Right.
Watching my comrades trying to like fix the situation that I just keep fucking up.
Yeah, because he'd say something bonkers and they'd be like, just tell us what you want us to do because this guy is just out of here.
Identification, please. Well, you're sitting in a guard booth, so I'm going to identify you as a guard. But one thing I've got to pray for it because I want it, and maybe I'm the only one, But they mentioned the space pirates. Can I please get like space battles where like hopping between ships? Like I want my Sea of Thieves, but in space. That's all I want. We're not getting it. We're probably not getting it, but I want it.
Yeah, not with this game, I would imagine, but maybe they actually focus on that, which would be really cool. But I just don't see Bethesda doing that.
My question will be: Is Megan gonna be into this? Because I know she's a huge Elder Scrolls stan.
Yeah, but it's really just Elder Scrolls. Like she loves that universe, but especially Skyrim. Like she doesn't have a big interest in playing Oblivion or there's Elder Scrolls Online. She doesn't have a big interest in that, and especially with like Fallout, she more likes to watch me play it, and she's still interested in that world, but likes to kind of see it unfold. But with Skyrim, she wants to be the person like following it and actually playing around in that world.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I think this is one where she'd rather just like watch me play it, but she could be into it.
That's fair. She seems to be a little more into fantasy stuff than
I guess
sci-fi.
she leans more fantasy.
And so I'm more of a sci-fi guy, and that's why like when I see the Harry Potter stuff, I'm like, yeah,
I hear you. And I'm
give them lightsabers, then I'm on board.
Right. But for some reason, I loved Skyrim because I've always been that way where I just don't care about fantasy very much. But something about it, maybe it was the reviews, it was getting high praise, and I just jumped in. But I got sucked into that world and played just a ton of it and loved it. But I'm hopeful that they can reach those same highs. I just think because of the pressure and they know they need to nail it, that they're going to deliver something like that. But yeah, can't wait. It's very soon. So we're getting November 11th, and it's also a Game Pass game, which is nuts, but it's part of that deal where it's on Game Pass.
That's insane that's an actual thing that's happening.
I put in my notes just to like remember that. It's like, yeah, this is a fucking Game Pass game and on PC.
What a big get. And it's still going to be #1 seller on Steam.
That's the thing. People still buy it on Steam, even though they're like, what? Game Pass? No, I'll buy it. They always do that.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah. But that's just a little update. We're going to get more of those, which I can't wait for Xbox's E3 presence. It's not, E3 anymore, but whatever they do for their showcase, they're going to show like gameplay of this thing. Because we still haven't seen, we've seen little trailer snippets of gameplay, but like actually live walkthrough gameplay on set or on stage. I think we're going to get that, and it's going to be nuts.
I wonder if they'll let you build your own ship.
I think you'll be able to somewhat build it, sure. Because you did stuff like that already.
Because I could give a shit about building a fort in Fallout 4.
No, I did not care either, yeah.
Even though apparently that's the quickest way to level up, is you like want to construct a building and like construct a bunch of stuff and then deconstruct it, and you still get points for that too.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
But
making your own ship and customizing it, and
I can be down for that.
You have to imagine they've already dipped their toes in it, so yeah.
Right.
They should be able to do that. Yes, they already star dabbed. Gavin, an update on Mario Kart. So Mario Kart 8 the Deluxe's Booster Course Pass Wave, too many words. Pass Wave 1 is available today. Actually, this was last week. Includes 8 courses. So that new DLC for Mario Kart's coming out slowly. So the Booster Course Pass costs $24.99.
Whoa.
Yeah, but that's the full price. So you get all of the courses, which are 48 of them, but they're going to slowly come out in waves.
Oh, okay.
So there's 6 waves of those courses, but it's 48 courses for $25.
That's a lot of courses.
That's a lot.
That's 50 cents per course, right? I'm not double checking my math. That's crazy though.
Right, yeah. Now, Gavin, there's this cool thing from Epic on the Unreal Engine 5. So they're showing off the here's the actual scuttlebutt here from Nibel on Twitter.
Is that 7 of 9?
709?
7 of 9?
What do you mean?
The actress that played 7 of 9 in Star Trek.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is 7 of 9 the Borg?
Yes, she's the half Borg.
Oh, okay. It's possible. I do not know. But you're a nerd. But we have Unity has released a teaser for their new real-time cinematic demo called Enemies. So overhaul digital humans, which is something they showed off before, but it's this like realistic tech that they can use. New skin shaders, ray tracing, native DLSS support, blah blah blah. But here's the actual demo here.
If nothing else, this really speaks to that whole like if they want to get further into that game with like what the Mandalorian's doing, where it's like let us just render your backgrounds in real time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a solid sell.
Yeah, is this both? Can they use this for movie applications and game applications? You think it's both? Yeah, either way.
Very easily.
But as the video goes on, it's not super long, but we get closer and showing off. So this is a digitally constructed human, from what I can understand. I think there's still motion capture going on.
Sure.
But that's where I still don't understand if they're just letting the tech make this person and still do the skin stuff, the jaw stuff, all happens with the engine. I don't know,
Anyone has ever
but
felt.
it's pretty nuts. This isn't a person.
That's definitely the best looking digital human I've seen
Is given only to
real time.
those
Like
who
this
dare
almost
know it
looks
themselves.
like it's still Uncanny Valley, but it's at least very close to that like Luke Skywalker showing up in Mandalorian.
Right, but possibly in a game, like in an engine kind of thing. Yeah, showing off the lighting, but the hair, like, so I loved Horizon Forbidden Dawn, or Forbidden West, played a bunch of it, but her hair is just going out of control with the physics.
I feel
This
like,
looks like actual hair.
in a lot of ways, I feel like hair has gotten worse. Like I remember thinking that in Cyberpunk, like Cyberpunk is an amazing looking game, except for that hair, which is like dithered and doing weird shit. Like I don't know when we started going backwards on hair.
Right.
Whereas you had like Lara Croft with her,
Just the polygonal hair.
yeah.
And she goes like 0G, and then the hair, reacts naturally to that. But it's pretty nuts. And the idea of getting this in engine, and it doesn't like melt your computer or melt your console is
I have in my head
pretty amazing.
everything that anyone has ever known.
Like if they nail that, if this is the potential, right, where you have multiple characters like this. I don't know how that fucking works.
Probably
But if
does.
you have-
This is
right.
this is maxed out right here.
That's
this
very
is what
true.
you can do.
Or they have to turn on the sliders on everybody to put
Right.
5 people in the scene. But
Everything
the potential's there. Like if you had
anyone has ever
think of
felt.
like Naughty Dog level performances with this stuff is insane.
I think this is what we'll
Power.
be seeing at the
Is
end of this
given only to
generation
those who dare
and
to
like
know
standard at the start of the
themselves.
next one.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's going to take time to just make it more efficient, right? Because we mentioned it's like one character at a time. But you have the bones there, you have the building blocks to improve it. But you mentioned the Uncanny Valley, and this definitely has that, but it's almost like you're starting to see that close in a little bit because there is now the tech behind the scenes to make it more realistic.
Right.
Which before there's always that where you just get creeped out instantly when they try and do that.
Is this background scene at the start, does it give you It Takes Two vibes?
It takes
Everything
two.
Kind of makes me think of the clock scene.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think of more like I don't know, like the White House or something. I'm sure the White House does have the weird trap door that happens to
Sends you down
the
into
Illuminati
a
area. Yeah,
fucking motor or something. I don't know what this would be.
that's dope. But yeah, they showed off some of that tech,
Oh,
which
I
is
have in
neato.
my-
that is neato. Do we have on the docket? Just we can touch on it very briefly, but
briefly.
I believe today came out Grand Theft Auto, the new generation version.
Yeah, I've been watching it, and I don't know if I'm gonna jump in because I looked at footage and it just looks very much the same.
Sure, but I mean, to be fair, this game's already had one next gen update.
It did, yeah. I remember buying it on PS3. It went from PS3 to PS4, and you had like a first-person mode. I think they added then. I think they maybe added a 60 frame, but maybe it was just like a 30. But then now with this newer update, we get 60 frames. There is ray tracing, which I know Digital Foundry had a breakdown. They said it's good for this engine still. Like they kind of rough out shadows and stuff. But it's just not enough for me to like go back and buy this game again or play it again.
I mean, the game already looked insane.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. But that did come out. There was so it is cheaper on PlayStation. So if you're getting it on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, it's $10 you're basically buying the game again. It's not like an upgrade, but it's $10. On Xbox it's $20. So there is that. They made some kind of deal. But it's out and looks cool. I've just played so much of this game, and really what you're getting is like the PC version, which I actually have the PC version of it. And I could probably upgrade it more than what's capable on PS5. But yeah.
It does oddly remind me. So Weird West is coming out soon.
It's like fully releasing.
Yeah, and I got a coupon in my email today for like 25% off.
Ooh.
Since I beta tested it, and I just found out it's coming out on Game Pass day one.
Oh, okay. So that's cool.
Thanks for the coupon, guys.
Oh, yeah. Is it now? Sometimes Game Pass is only console and then PC later.
Oh, good question.
I wonder if that's that. So maybe at least you can use that coupon on the PC version of it.
Right.
I got that Xbox, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, the beta test for that really kind of took the air out of my tires. On
I
that
know you're
game.
saying, yeah, and you were super stoked for that.
I was jazzed, man, and it just feels clunky.
Were they able to? Because it was almost like a beta, right? So were they able to make any adjustments from people playing it?
I guarantee you, there's not enough time
Ah,
to make anything substantial to fix my complaints. No.
yeah. And you
to
think you'd
maybe-
want something, a pretty much good change happening to.
You'd have to rework the combat for me to be happy.
Gotcha.
So
I see. We're always you're a stickler. You're hard to.
never happy.
No.
All right.
You're never happy.
Take my time off for Deathloop, play it for like 100+ hours, and I'm like, oh, construct. Ah.
Yeah, that's one. I don't have any desire to go back to that game, but it's a game.
It was good.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Alrighty, Gavin. Well, we can end it there for the week. Where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Awesome. And keep up the show as well on Twitter at PlasticArtPod. That's it for us this week. We'll see you next week.